Welcome back to another episode of Cappuccino Chat. This time we're talking about the differences between what was used to be called the old Office 365 and the new Microsoft 365. So this time we're talking about the differences between what we call Office 365 and Microsoft 365. Now, it's really just a name change. Microsoft rebranded itself almost 2 years ago now, and everything is now Microsoft 365, not Office 365. But there are some differences into what the plans used to do and what the plans are now capable of doing. And Microsoft is constantly adding additional features and protections to this. So let's jump into Microsoft's website so I can show you a couple different things that's going on. All right, so here we are on Microsoft's site. This is the Microsoft 365 for business plans. These are what typically most of our clients use and have. We'll see the Microsoft Business Basic. This is basically just email only. No installed applications on your computers. So you don't get the ability to download Word and Excel and Outlook. It's all done via a web browser or on a mobile device. So this is where we'll see a lot of those basic email only accounts or people who work out in the field and don't have an assigned desk, those kinds of things. They then also have Microsoft 365 apps. This is literally just the applications if you want to pay monthly rather than buying Office up front. Not a lot of people do this really. This really isn't a good plan. As you can see, if you added these two together, we would be at $14.25. What they've done though is basically bundled these two together and created Microsoft 365 Business Standard, which used to be Office 365 Standard. So that's really the only differences here that we're talking about. It's a naming and a rebrand through the Microsoft. I still call it Office 365, and most of our clients still understand it as Office 365, and it's okay. But there are some differences that we're going to talk about when they did rebrand. So as you can see, again, you're saving money rather than buying these two separately when you go to this $12.50 plan. This is where most of our clients live and do most of their licensing. Now, this price is an annual subscription. So you have to commit now to an annual subscription. I'm going to do another video on this. What that means is if you buy 10 now, you can't decide, even though you're paying per month or buying all up front, you have to commit to a year's price in order to get this discount. Otherwise, this is higher. The next plan up, and this is where we start to see some of the benefits and the new features that were added by Microsoft, is this Business Premium. Business Premium adds to the standard plan Intune and Azure P1, so information protection. So this is going to start to give us some cyber threat protection. In addition to the standard spam filtering that kind of is here. What this is going to allow us to do, if I scroll down, we're going to get some of that security. As we can see, no other plans include it. So we're getting some of the security, enterprise grade endpoint security across devices, restricting control policies. We're also going to get PC and mobile device management. This is where we can start to deploy things. If you're using it on your iPhone and stuff like that, we can start bringing those things in and making sure apps get pushed, set up policies, wipe company data from lost or stolen devices, those types of things through there. And the big one is the ability to get this Defender for Business, and inside the Azure, we can now lock down for two-factor authentication. So two-factor authentication, I've spoken on this a number of times, may have spoken to you directly. This is kind of like the new bare minimum for anything in the cloud. So not just email, but anything you attach to in the cloud, you really need to make sure you got two-factor authentication on. This is going to require that extra code or step. Like hopefully when you go to your bank and log into your bank, it'll text you a code, those types of things. You really want to get that enabled. What this allows us to do is if everyone really doesn't access their email from outside your main company location. This has the ability so that we could say, hey, if you're inside the building, don't prompt for that two-factor code, but anytime somebody's outside the building, it will prompt them. This is going to stop outside hackers from hacking into your email. Email is still the number one way breaches happen, cyber threats happen, and attacks, those kinds of things. We're looking at 95% of the time, it all starts with email. So this is a very good reason to move to the 365 Business Premium plan. We can add just that feature to this and save some money. It's again going to bring it down to, I think it's an additional $6 a month, so $18.50. So that's better. But you're not going to get the Intune capabilities and some other stuff. We're just going to get the ability to kind of do that extra protection, which is great. Now, they also have what's called the enterprise plans. Now, these enterprise plans, as you can see, are a little bit pricier. We're looking in here. This is where we're really starting to add some of the security and compliance to these plans. So we're adding additional security, additional compliance capabilities to both of these. Also with the E5, they're also throwing in voice. So this is where you can start doing some of the voice things via Teams. You can even do voice via some voice over IP phone systems that will integrate with this. There are far and few between what does integrate, so we're not seeing a lot of movement there. We have a separate voice solution for that. But what we get into is a couple different things. You'll see a lot of these different apps in here that it comes with that most of us probably really don't care for. Visio is one that you may have a need for, some other ones. But where we get into it is Windows. So with these plans, you're going to get the enterprise version of Windows. So all of our business class computers come with Professional, so Windows 10 or Windows 11 Professional. There is a version above that called Enterprise. Enterprise is going to give us some additional feature sets. With this per user price, it will then have the ability to upgrade that Professional license on their computer to an Enterprise license on their computer. So that is one additional benefit. The big ones are going to be down via the threat protection. We're getting some more threat analytics, Defender antivirus and device guard, a Defender for endpoint. So we're able to do some more stuff on the actual computers themselves. This one, we're starting to add in Defender for office and identity purposes. So the person is who they say they are. You will see additional protections here for the Azure P1, again, that we talked about in the premium is included here. We get information protection and BitLocker, data loss prevention. This is where we can prevent users from emailing out data that they shouldn't, i.e. social security numbers, bank transaction numbers, or hackers using those methods to transmit via email that data out as well. As you can see with the E5, you're getting a lot more stuff here. We're getting the more advanced Azure P2, and we're getting the Defender for cloud apps stuff. They also add in our security management stuff, Secure Score. This is where Microsoft is letting you know and providing some additional lockdowns and security for your email. And then again, with the compliance, really getting in there with some of the different compliance stuff, where we can do rules-based automatic retention policies, advanced e-discovery for those of you that need maybe public information requests, where you need to keep company records and emails past a year, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, those kind of, all that is kind of built in here and gives us those capabilities. So again, the main difference really, it's just a name change. When we go back to the business apps, most clients are right here. We're starting to see the reason to go to Business Premium with this Azure protection, so we can get that MFA lockdown and really prevent people from needing to add that MFA code on-prem or at their business location, but yet protect them from China, Russia, little Johnny in his basement hacking into your email and causing damage getting your contact list, sending infected data to your other clients, infecting them, and then they're going to blame you and you're going to have to deal with that fallout. So this is really going to protect that, especially in the state of California. I am not an attorney or anything like that. Don't claim to be, but when you're requiring 2FA, there is some different stuff that you got to be aware of and maybe check on as far as paying for people's cell phone usage or giving them some kind of stipend and those kinds of things if you're not issuing them company controlled cell phones. So if you have any questions concerning any of this Microsoft 365 as compared to Office 365, any confusion, wanting to maybe add in some additional protections, please reach out to us here at the office, 760-770-5200.